What's going on? This is Julian with True Nerd, and we are back with another video. And it's been a minute since I did a video kind of surrounding news, but today I wanted to talk about the Switch 2 and its pricing. So recently it was announced that the Switch 2 would release at $450, and then if you got the pack in with Mario Kart, that would be $500, which I think that's a good deal considering that the new Mario Kart game will be releasing at $80. But I don't want to necessarily talk about the game pricing. This is purely the console. So from what we know, this console will do 4K 60 with certain titles, whether that's docked or undocked. It all depends on the title, and some games can even go up to 120 frames per second, so that's really cool. I don't know, some people were bothered about this since the original Switch, its predecessor, released at $299, but kind of when we look at where we are now with the console, if you care, and I don't think most Nintendo people, I won't say most, I will say a lot of Nintendo people don't care about some of the specs like the 1080s, the 4Ks, but if we look at the old console, it kind of maxed out at 1080p in most cases, and that would have to be docked, and then in other cases when handheld it would be 720. But when you think about the amount of power that you're putting into a small form factor, that does increase the price. I recently purchased an ROG Ally with the upgraded chip, so still the white case, not the black case, and I caught it on sale for $500, and that's with no dock. I actually just bought a dock for it if I end up using it, but that's no dock. Controllers are fixed to the system, and when you're looking at the Switch, you have that upgraded LCD screen. It might be OLED, I can't remember for the Switch 2. I'll throw that on the screen once I get that right. Then you have these upgraded magnetic controllers, and in some cases you can use them as a mouse. Like I said, you have the increased frame rate and resolution. And when you look at the price of some of the handheld gaming PCs out here, really, they're going for about $700. Now, you do have more of an open ecosystem, depending on which handset you decide. But there were people screaming that the price should be reduced. And like I said, I'm not talking about the games themselves, but the console, I think, is a fair price. And like I said, I would suggest that most people go ahead and get the version with Mario Kart, because most people, when you buy a Nintendo system, at least in recent years, Mario Kart it is one of those games that most people like to have and play with their friends. So overall, I think it's a really good deal. We can have a whole different conversation about the price of games, but right now we're just talking about the tech. And yeah, I think $449.99 is a fair price. Don't lower the price. I mean, Nintendo has been really good for the most part about how they release their consoles and their games. And like I said, I think this is a fair price. It's going to take some people, like a $150 hike from the previous console, that will take some getting used to. But I honestly think that if you have an older Switch, you don't have to upgrade right away, especially if you have an OLED Switch. I think right now it doesn't seem like we have too many crazy launch titles. So give it a minute. We'll see what these tariffs do to the pricing or the supply, the demand. But yeah, that's just my opinion. What do you all think? What price do you think would have been a fair price for the Nintendo Switch? And yeah, I'll see you next time.